Alright, we've seen already in the past stuff from this company with the Gollum game. Now let's see something close to their beginning. This is an effort from Daedalic, a game called A New Beginning. This is labeled as quote-unquote Final Cut, because if I understand correctly, it added, English dub and, fixed a lot of bugs that the original release had, but otherwise, it's virtually unchanged. And yeah, in front of you, we're advertising other stuff from Daedalic, their Facebook page. When it comes to voice acting, this one is in English, French, Russian, and German. But for subtitles, you also are available in Spanish, my countries, and Poland. Later, Daedalic games will also start to be voice acted in my country's language as well. But anyway, I'll explain more I can actually explain more in a second. Since Daedalic is a German company, don't expect, at least for this game, a voice acting cast that's from people who are known. Because, hello, but because I get the idea where mostly people were in German that know English, especially because on the internet finding information on this title is a bit difficult. IMDb only lists the German voice actors, and behind the voice actors doesn't have anything on this. So I generally don't know who these English voice actors are, but you will see just soon enough. So let's start. You'll also see in a second that the subtitles are a bit wonky because the game goes for a comic book style in motion comic, presentation, but sometimes the subtitles fuck things over by standing, on top of a balloon. You'll see.
So we start off with what appears to be the apocalypse.
Yeah. Oh yeah, this is the... Okay, I can explain more later in detail, but essentially the theme of this game for now is basically about save the world from climate change.
240 seconds left.
For reference, this was a game developed at the end of the 2000s, so probably riding on the tide of Al Gore.
News from Antarctica,
yeah, that would check out. Jeez, you weren't
also,
kidding though.
If you're hearing some crackles and pops in the audio, those have been a thing apparently since the release. Unfortunately, despite the fixing of the bugs, not everything has to be polished enough.
I'm guessing this is a case where the audio is pretty much stuck as it is, and they weren't going to bother re-recording it anyway. Also, you weren't kidding. Daedalus really did go under the radar for a lot of time. Like, honestly, it sadly does seem like the Gollum game was the first time they were like in.
No, being a German company, they're more known here in Europe, especially because the genre of a point-and-click game is more known here in America, especially in these days, as it kept going. You have to understand, Jova, that one thing we didn't mention
to take the final step.
Oh boy. One thing that we haven't mentioned in the King's Quest games is that instead the LucasArts games became massively popular here in Europe, and I mean a lot. So Daedalic became a company dedicated to continue the genre, specifically using that formula, as in, more fair, no real death situations, and more wackiness into, and it's awesome super special intro!
Nice. Okay, to be fair to America, it's not like the point-and-click genre completely went away. I will give you, though, that it
does... a disparity, that's what I mean,
Fair enough, yeah, we did kind of move away from that being the big thing.
Our prologue, we'll see one of our main protagonists in the country of Finland, I think. Northern Europe, that's what you need to know, in the 80s.
That was just a story told in medias res where we see how things
the prologue, no, but we will get a set of flashback to see how one of the characters got here. For the time being...
What a beautiful day. The birds are singing. The sky is blue.
And our protagonist here, Discount Bird Reynolds, is trying to make, our first puzzle of the day is to actually activate this machine, the fogger, apparently.
It never ends, does it? Okay, then.
And yeah, the interface is basically the same. Anyway, let me use this to tell about the instruction. If you know point and click, you should already know this, but for the interest of fairness, move the mouse pointer over red machine's lid and hold down to the left mouse button. Wait until the token clicks into place, then move the mouse onto the upper right and over open before you release the mouse button. Again, it's been a while since our last point and click title.
So basically, see what fits in there, and if it does, activate it.
You can also inspect items that way. Why don't you inspect the motor by selecting Look At Now?
Aha.
Have a look.
So that's the problem. The belt tore. But where can I get a new one?
With this knowledge, it should be easy for you to remove the torn V-belt.
This one's
Also,
finished.
I miss this era of the weird
Maybe
icon characters who
fixed.
gave the tutorial.
This is something tied more later, but you will see. The belt is now in inventory. Click on the right mouse button to open or close your inventory. Try to knock the belt in your inventory now. And yeah, instead of having it on screen all the time, you toggle it on and off with the right click button. The belt is now in inventory. Click the mouse button to open or close your inventory. Blah blah. Left click the belt and your inventory, then move it over the wheels of the engine and left click again.
Not sure that will hold.
Okay.
To check if your repair work was successful, try to activate the fogger. Also, let's look at it's also I'll look around later after the tour is over. Well,
That's it. The belt tore again. There's no help for it. I need to replace it.
now you must find a way to repair the fogger properly, but you can't do it here and you have to do it without my help. Move the mouse pointer over the stairs to your right and start your adventure with a left click. But anyway, I'm gonna check things in the meantime. You might also hear from the voice acting that a lot of times the voice actors probably did not have a field of reference of what the scene was supposed to go, because their emotional, delivery does not really convey what the game is doing. Like, for example, a character should be in a panic, but Discount Burt Reynolds will be here, oh, what happened?
It's fascinating going from these days where actors had pretty much no idea where they are to now we see full-fledged sets essentially for the actors to act in now.
Also, you might notice since the beginning, but unfortunately, despite the modern release in 2010, I think it was, the game is still in 4:3 aspect ratio. For some reason, they did not bother to make it widescreen, and apparently there are no real, fan patches for that. So
I'm guessing they couldn't adjust the ratio enough to not make the widescreen version look chunky.
It's two things. One, first off, there wouldn't be a way to patch that because they would have to redraw, because this entire game is hand-drawn, which means they would have to just redraw the entire thing from scratch in order to make a widescreen version of the background. And second,
I know that feeling.
Do you? Do you really?
I go in circles, which means I have the advantage over the belt.
Good for you.
You can definitely feel the snark similar to Monkey Island. Go on, Pedro.
I get the feeling the idea is because they're still using old software from the 90s, probably.
Anyway, pay attention to the dialogue, because instead of actually giving you an exposition dump like at the beginning with a narration, you will piece it together what this character's life is right now based on the dialogue that he says looking at the objects. It's kind of a neat way, actually, to convey that.
But it's still floating.
So, I guess one thing that does make me curious, so these guys may not have been big in America, but they were big in Europe. It really does boggle the mind why the Gollum game had to be what stopped their careers.
We already mentioned that.
They bit off more than what they could chew.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, what I wanted to ask was, were they in any form of downtrend of sales over in Europe, and that's why Gollum was their Hail Mary?
Well, I'm not sure, but I can tell you their output was not as common as the mid-2000s. It started to decline a bit, not in terms of quality, but quantity. It feels like we were not producing as many games, but again, that's just a guessing more than anything. And remember, the Gollum game was done because there was a partnership with the Tolkien estate, so it was a responsibility placed on top of that.
The fishing rod was Dr.
Again, I mainly asked because
is very meditative.
You'll piece it very quickly, but this is unfortunately being 2010 anything. This is yet another game or piece of media that portrays therapists as people who are either incompetent or incompetent morons or just evil people that take advantage of our patient. Yay!
Did a Scientologist write this?
Actually, I can give you the name of the person that was responsible for this right away. Jan Müller Michaelis, which was later created the Deponia franchise, which we'll look at in the future. Another point and click from Daedalic. So you can look forward to that. My guess, just by looking at this game and knowing what with the knowledge from Deponia, what our protagonist is about to see on TV are a bunch of protesters, basically. You'll see here in a second, but. My guess is that Ian is a great fan of the point-and-click genre, particularly LucasArts. Don't think I get the idea under Svensson only on a gameplay level and slightly surface, because the stories that he writes for these games tend to be very cynical. I here to already give you a bit of a spoiler to that, not just for this game, but any game he worked on. They tend to be a bit more on the cynical side. I know that it's a bit of a too much of a stretch of a comparison, but he's kind of like the Zack Snyder of point-and-click games. He has knowledge of the material, but his own ideas seems to be much more on the downtrend more than anything.
I thought you were actually going to say he's like the Mark Millar of it, but Zack
No,
Snyder,
Mark Millar would be more violent and excessively edgy. Zack Snyder is generally a more of a downfall, but again, we just started the game. You will need context to get what I'm saying.
I can believe it because German works are usually like that.
Gothic is actually another comparison. It's supposed to be a take on, Western RPGs like The Elder Scrolls, but it's a general more, deconstructive kind of way.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, let's check some books.
Screwdriver. Ways Out of Workaholism by Gunnar Larson. I don't know. At least a screwdriver is useful. 1,000
okay, bit of an extreme there, dude.
Dr. Angus believes it will lighten my view on the oil crisis.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm definitely seeing what you mean about this writer. I mean, granted, maybe things will lighten up, but this character just glistens sunshine, and I get
to be
it.
fair, this guy has a reason, which we'll actually about to learn.
Age by Aki Taitonen, or How You Learn to Accept Things You Had a Good Reason for Rejecting in the First Place. Dancing lessons, for example.
Damn.
I'm not a screw...
Yeah, I already did this. Alright, let's check what the rest of the house is. Seems that this guy is living alone, apparently by suggestion of this Dr. Angus. Also, someone is playing Final Fantasy 14.
The good version.
If I didn't have dinner in town, I would never meet any people at all. A full fridge would be social suicide.
Sorry, Dweebs, apparently if your mini fridge is full, you're socially suicidal.
Apparently.
Rapeseed oil.
Well, there's no...
It's not quite full at the minute though, so...
And to prove the bad...
Well, Joe, but there's no actual official way of playing the 1.0 version of that game.
Anyway, let's take the oil, since it's gonna be useful for later. Basically, since I played already this game not back when it came out, but way before. I think even before I joined the channel, and anything. I already have a basic knowledge of what the game is about, so I basically, not sequence break, but try to get in advance a couple of items when possible, in order to not be stuck on a situation.
That's nice. It's kind of like what I tried to do with the Ace Attorney games of old, have everything collected for the best moment to be able to move.
Again, if something feels a bit out of the ordinary because of what I'm doing, I will explain the difference, so don't worry about that.
Is this one of those games where you can pretty much collect all the items you may need later on ahead of time?
Oh, no, don't worry. It's not like he said, the inspiration here is from LucasArts games like Monkey Island. Therefore, rather than, giving you the potential soft blocking or you being killed in a hilarious fashion like with the Sierra games, they are much more lenient and more relying on you enjoying the story and figuring out the puzzle. That being said, moon logic is perfectly prevalent, just like in all those old point-and-click games. So if you're much of a casual player, you're still not gonna enjoy this, when it comes to thinking about the solution to a puzzle.
For me, I'd say my limit is more so King's Quest, and to be fair, I think part of it does have to do with how well a game is doing with me from the get-go, essentially, for my tolerance, essentially. Normally, I'm not too tested by this stuff, but yeah, when a game legit has, almost no sense whatsoever, that does risk losing me.
So yeah, if you can piece it together from the dialogue, this guy used to work for this, this group. The one on the person on the right is his son. His wife is probably dead at this point, and now he is retired.
I'm guessing they're going to be vague with what land or area the characters live in.
No. Like I said, it's Northern Europe. I think it's something like, say, Finland or Sweden. I forgot exactly. Also, don't ask me how he managed to get the key stuck in there. I don't know.
I don't even remember hiding it here. Was I really that drunk?
Jesus.
Well, let's go actually open the shack then. Worth noting is that the cursor is still present even if I turn off the option in OBS that asks me if it doesn't want to pick up the cursor, so interesting.
How long haven't I been down here?
Only you know.
That's because he literally did not set foot in the shack for a long time.
It houses memories.
Yes, literally. So, let's give it a look.
This is where my old life is buried. Okay, let's take a look.
You want to see my old life, audience? Well, here it is.
How many summer nights did I spend down here, staring at the algae cells? Did I really believe I could change the world? The temptation is great, but I promised Barney and Dr. Angus to enjoy my retirement.
Sure, it'd be the same as something brought him out of retirement.
Yeah, just when I thought I could get out, they bring me back.
That is like one of the few good lines from The Godfather Part 3.
With your secretary while your office is at home.
But Joe, what about that epic line? Wait, what about I forgot my hat?
Studies about
Oh, My Lucky Code, I think.
Plans for greenhouses.
I think that was it, My Lucky Code.
Yeah.
How fitting. It stopped at 5 minutes to midnight.
If you haven't seen Watchmen, it's a reference to the Doomsday Clock, you know, which is it's a thing that's still present to this day.
For all eternity is better than the clock striking midnight someday. There was even more lab equipment in here once. Barney took most of it back to the station so I wouldn't get any ideas and start working again.
Let's see what's inside.
Hey, there was a screwdriver in there. I better take it.
Alright. So let's see instead what's in the deeper part of the shack.
I built the shed for Duva and Maida. I didn't want them to get in my way when I was working.
Your kids?
Well, more like the kid's bicycle.
Duva's bike. That old thing. We made a tour down the fjord, along the coast, and down to the sea. At that time, the Atlas was being renovated, and while I was waiting for new assignments, I had all the time in the world to be a good dad. It's strange how things change.
Well, at least it's not the typical, I was a bad father, jaded by my work and all that.
Well, again, as mentioned by the narration and everything, he kinda sorta had, you know, a nervous crisis, but
let's see.
More in a second.
I can't even start. I'm not even been working for even a minute, and already someone comes to bother me.
Yes.
Bent Svensson?
Yes, that would be me. Wait, I'm coming.
What Resident Evil game did you come from, sweetie?
She looks more like a white version of Cora when you look at up front.
Huh.
Also, lady, I told the other guy already that I don't care about the Avengers Initiative. Peace off.
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
You get all sorts of hurt.
I know your work. That is the reason why I need to talk to you.
Nothing.
Is you're wondering about also the pacing of a line, sometimes, you know, they barely finish and then the next one immediately starts. That's not me pressing the left click. Sometimes we really are just paced that quickly.
Well, all right.
Weird. It's not like they're trying to lip sync or anything.
Oh, okay. You're easily
Is
convinced,
that
surprisingly.
your helicopter out there?
It belongs to
Look,
a
I don't want
friend,
to. Look, I
think.
need. Okay, fine, you convinced me.
Nice outfit. Are you military?
No, I am from a different organization.
Okay, those were two
Please,
different
wait a
line reads
second.
put right
I'm
together.
busy right
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
you can
The
tell.
sooner you let me finish my work, the
Oh
sooner
boy,
I will have
it's
time for you.
interesting looking
I
back
can
at
tell
this
you,
age.
from what I remember, the English double with the
Looks
Ponya
distraught.
games
And
is
she
actually
wears the
better
strange
handled. And if I
uniform.
recall correctly,
Who
they
is
do
she?
have a couple of
What does she want
actual
from me?
American voice actors.
Yeah, I was gonna
I
ask, is
just,
stuff like this mainly exclusive to the English dub, or is this like a thing with just the
Is
voice
that a
acting?
sense?
Yeah,
and
no,
singing
it's
this
for
weird?
this because I was
Whatever
actually
might be
wondering
in
if
there,
if
it is none of
for
my
sake of
business.
authenticity, they should have gone with the original German dub, especially since we don't have Shiro, so we can take a foreign language. But then it was like, no, well, let's keep it in English. Why not?
Yeah, I will say this. While it does have some hokey mannerisms, it's not terrible so far.
All right.
It's
So to handle this puzzle, let's first put the bicycle
Cripes.
straps.
Too long.
Well, it's a bit too long. So what we need to do, if I recall correctly, is to find a way to take away
Work
the screw
destroyed him.
that is
Now
loose.
he isn't good for anything anymore. A broken old man living all alone on a fjord.
Write it in the
Even if the
memoir.
screwdriver was still sound, the screw thread is down the drain.
No, but it's because I thought I should have used the screws. But while
Rapeseed
we're at it,
oil.
also let's
To-
use
and to
the oil to oil the mechanism
It's
because
completely
another thing
rusted.
that will happen if
Okay,
you
that should
do
work.
everything all right is the mechanism is rusted, and as a result, it
I
might
wouldn't know where
be
to
that's
start.
also what tore away the belt, the original belt. So
Maybe it would work if I could
lubricating it
attach
with
the
oil that's
screwdriver
actually
to
what
something.
works.
I find the pacing of that interaction quite funny. Like, sorry, honey, I'm retired. But it's very, very important. Much is on the line. Well, okay, fine. In that case, let me just finish this then. Okay,
Even
that
if
was
it's slow.
surprisingly easy.
Honestly, I'm kind of surprised they even let us go back to fix this thing. Like, if it's that important, surely this could wait, but,
It's
There you go.
useless. Away with
unless
it.
this device will come in handy for solving the plot later.
No, you'll see. It's
Fits.
literally just for the sake of tutorializing us to these to the puzzles.
It
There you
Yeah,
go.
okay, fair enough.
So let's give it a try.
So this game will make
Right.
men into
That should do the trick.
mechanics.
Ah, damn it. Someone has to hold the shutter to keep the stupid screwdriver from popping out again.
Which means we need the help of the lady.
The
I
unknown
I've been stuck like this for 2 hours. Help!
I feel like her helping him
Distraught.
would should have been the thing that causes him to maybe reconsider. Maybe that would have worked better.
You'll see. No.
I could
Again,
use your help.
I think
Is
you're
that
getting
really
a
important?
beetle
I don't have
transporter
much
from
time.
one of the
If you
deliveries
really
more
want
than
my
anything.
help.
You'll see.
Okay, fine. What do you want me to do?
Just come up here.
Okay.
There we are.
What's this machine for?
The fogger keeps the wood fresh until winter. I need you over here. You must push down this shutter while I operate the switch over there. Do you think you can do that?
Of course. I'm ready.
Well then.
I'm surprised that they didn't just have him record all these lines in one take. Well, I mean, they probably did, but it seems like they took lines from different takes.
All right,
But
here
yes,
we go.
there's the power of teamwork.
Hey!
Oh, for a second I thought he shot her.
Stop! Stop!
Is that the best
Stop! this.
delivery could get out of the woman?
Calm down, please. It's working as intended.
What are you doing? Are you mad? Turn off the machine right now!
Oh, well. These things happen.
Oh, well.
So, did the thing
There's no
work as
alternative if you want to get
intended,
rid of the
or?
vermin.
Yes, but the bird
And I
was just
need the wood
invested
for
with
heating.
the discharge fumes.
Wow, this
If
one-
you're wondering why she's so attached to the bird, the next couple of parts will
You
explain
are
that.
so stupid.
Oh, great. I've got a visit from Miss Hypersensitivity.
like I said, it feels like Jan, played Monkey Island, and the thing that he took away, the entirety thing that he took away of, wow, Guybrush is kind of an asshole when you get down to it. I should model everything after that.
I
think there might also
how
be
the game is going to be with these two for the entirety of the game.
I get the feeling there's also something kind of like the translation from German to English. Probably there was something that was lost.
You really buried the bird like a little
I
girl.
mean, I get the inkling from this that the translation came by just well. It's just
Oh, come on.
okay. I get it. She's really into nature, but
maybe you can't help me.
like
after
as he
all.
did point out, it's to help the environment overall.
Again, Droba,
And
you will
I don't
see the
help
next couple of
anyone
parts
anymore.
that we're
Oh, please.
proceeding with the pace.
Don't look so sad. Maybe it would be best.
Also, someone is playing Resident Evil 5.
What?
Nice.
What's wrong with you?
Water. I need water.
What are you, a plant?
That's blood.
Please. I need some water quickly.
That's blood.
That's blood. Please.
Well,
I
to
need
be fair, that's
water.
because Theo interrupted the line.
No, like you said, Pedro,
no,
I'm
no,
not,
no,
I'm
no,
not,
that's what I
I'm
was
not left
recording.
clicking. It's
Oh.
generally the game that is doing
What?
that.
Oh really? Oh really?
Yeah,
Huh.
like I said, it's like
Svensson.
that. But oh
Hello,
boy,
Ben.
this.
This is Dr. Angus speaking. You sound a bit stressed out.
It's a bad time. I have a visitor.
What did I tell you about stress?
All our commentaries are like that.
Please,
She sounds a bit
Doc.
like
The
June
woman
Foray.
doesn't feel well. She has a seizure.
We
Yeah.
talked about this 1,000 times, Bent.
Yeah, she kind of sounds
Your
like
do-gooder
her magic of the
complex
spell
even earned
voice.
you a stay in the hospital. You are not responsible for the whole world.
What? But
Please repeat. I am not responsible for the whole world.
Yeah, again, I don't like
Jesus.
this.
Yeah.
Especially because
like,
again, the situation is not
But I
even
have
that
to
kind
help
of
this woman.
You have to help yourself first.
word. Also,
We've
some
already
explicit
talked
currents
about your
too. It's
do-gooder
not like that
complex,
the kind
haven't
of
we?
word
You
frightening.
have a right to
It's
be
literally just giving
egoistic.
water a woman. But apparently, the shrink here is
You are
like
not responsible
no,
for the
because
whole
you have
world?
the
Say it.
the overly helpful complex. So now you have to say
don't
the
have
line that
time
we
for your
learned.
mind
Again,
games right
it's
now.
she's
You don't
basically a
have the
strawman
time.
caricature of
It was the old
of a
Bent who
therapist,
had the
and
time
it's
for
so
anything.
fucking
Remember
annoying.
that.
Like, I'm
man.
sorry, what
Dark
therapist in their
circles
right
around the
mind would
eyes,
go,
worry
oh, well,
lines. The
you got too
maniac
much of a
who stays
And again,
with
it's
the
also
hours
the
of
message-
3
to someone who's
hours of
trying
the
to help
morning
someone
never
And the
noticed
message
a
of the
light
game that he's
passing
telling is
by
that, of course, our
until he woke
protagonist
up
is the
in
one in the
intensive
right
care
for
at
caring
the
about
Marine
this, and
Hospital.
the
But
therapist
you
is
are
wrong,
the new
even
Bent
though
now.
in the past
A Bent
the
that
protagonist
no longer
genuinely had a
is
mental breakdown and
responsible
needed
for the
actual
whole
therapy
world.
because of
Come on, I
of his
want to hear
actions,
it from
as
you.
even told in this prologue. But
I'm
again,
not
it's being treated
responsible
this
for the
way
whole
so that he
world.
can be in the
That's
right.
it. Now,
if
get
this
some
were just a
rest.
result of the world being
Why don't you
cynical,
go
that'd be
fishing?
one thing, but
Because I don't want to be
yeah, I'm
part
not
of the
gonna lie,
overfishing
this
of the
does
sea.
give some
What did I
anti-therapy,
tell you?
well, sorry,
I am not
anti-psychiatry
responsible for the
vibes.
whole world.
Just remember that.
I'm actually wondering if maybe the dialogue
long.
flows better in the original German
Yes,
script.
So long.
Not that much different in terms of length,
Okay. Now, about
as in
you.
length of each line.
Like, I mean, the thing is, as far as I know, he calls her for help, but she still
Why
refuses.
don't you
Like,
tell me
so
what
unless
brings
they
you here?
absolutely change
Alright,
that,
Let's listen to what she has to say.
All right.
okay.
What brings me here? Okay. Mutual trust. My name is Faye. I am a time travel pilot.
What?
Confrontation.
Of
What?
course.
In the future, mankind is facing extinction.
Oh, this came out of nowhere.
What are you talking about? And what is that note for?
Guidelines for trans-temporal contacting. I told them I couldn't do this.
No. Are you serious?
That's a fair
Salvador was
question.
right. Talk is useless.
Oh, please. Give me a break. Fine. You are from the future. Or from the Muppet Show. What's that got to do with
Okay,
you?
I
What do
see
you
someone's
want
a
from
fan
me?
of the Muppets
Your
over
research.
We're
there.
also gonna get a
Nonsense.
Star Wars reference
In
later
my time,
on.
mankind is dying. Animals are dying. Trees. The
Ah,
whole world is
The
dying.
reason why
That's
she
why
cared
she's
for the bird is
concerned
because
about her.
where she
I'm
from
not
where she comes
responsible
from,
for the
nature
whole
is
world.
also
Okay.
completely
But you are
annihilated.
bent.
All right.
You are the
Seriously,
only
this
one who
first
can help
close-up
me.
of her
The
face
only
makes her
one who
look
can
like a
stop the
white
worst
version
from
of Cora.
happening.
Holy
You
shit.
It kind of
and
does,
you
yeah.
alone are
Holy
responsible
cow.
for the whole world.
Like,
Anyway, that's what we're gonna. The next couple of parts, starting with the next one, will be dedicated for us to learn about Faye's backstory, essentially how she got here and what is her goal. So see you for that.
All right.
All right. See ya.
See ya.